go. Hi everybody, looks like I left my image off the chain there, so welcome back to this video. It's going to be pretty exciting. We've obviously got a lot coming up today, so let's get into that. And looks like my head moderator's just got me to make sure I put myself on the screen as well. Sorry about that, it was a bit of oversight. So anyway, let's have a quick look. What today we're going to look at, we're going to look at how much has been sacrificed. Looks like we've got about 240 million. Obviously, that's going to change around dramatically with the prices, especially as the sacrifice goes up and the price moves more. That total volume is going to change a lot. And secondly, we hit the 1 billion target, Hex target, so we're going to check that out. We're also going to check out Pulse lead as well and see who the top leaderboard is. We're going to also check out the God Whale, see what the God Whale's been up to, and also Richard Hart's latest tweets. We're going to check all that out as well. And of course, we're going to check out the sacrifice percentage. These are some of the key metrics that we've got coming up, so it's going to be pretty awesome. And Alex Case in house says I'm still at 20% sacrifice so far. And so we're also going to look at strategies as well, what people's strategies have been in the sacrifice. And so we're going to check that. It's going to be pretty interesting for sure. So Alex, our head moderator, says I'm still at 20% sacrifice so far, looking for close to 20 cents for next stack. Yeah, so I think quite a few people are looking for that too. We thought it might happen overnight, but we'll check that out. We're also obviously going to check out, at the moment, we're on pulsechain.com. So this is the main site. This is the official site. Always make sure you check the official sites because there are scammers out there. That's the number one thing. If you're going to be sacrifice stage is the first stage, then we've got the Pulsechain mainnet. In between that, of course, we've got the public testnet, and we'll have the fork as well. That is where you get the system state copy is known. And so basically, that's going to how that's going to work. So the first stage is the sacrifice. It's voluntary. It's optional, but people are going into it because that's where you get most of the Pulse coins after the launch. And obviously the mainnet is going to be the biggest airdrop in history. So a copy of every ERC20 token, Ethereum, is going to get copied over to the Pulse chain. It's going to start at a value of 0, and the market's going to price it up. Biggest price discovery. This is a new, folks, so it's really huge. Obviously, there's been a system state. There's been a copy of ETH chain, but not with the system state on it. And so this is really new territory in crypto, very much the frontier. Obviously, the Pulse chain is going to have a lot of superior aspects to it compared to Ethereum. And so it's going to be faster. It's going to have a few secret sources as well from Richard. So who knows what's going to happen there. So that's a lot of stuff going up. So let's get into that and get going. So I hope you enjoy the next hour. It's going to be a bit of fun and a nice update. We're currently 2 days and 18 hours into the sacrifice. It's 19 days long. And of course, the first phase is 5 days, and we're going to check that out now. So we go down to here. This is the first phase. We've got 5 days. We're currently in day 3, and we've got 6 hours left of day 3, and then we've got 2 days left. Now, a lot of people are expecting a big price move there, and based on what Alex just said, that 20-cent mark sounds attractive. Are we going to blow past 20 cents? Now, I did talk about yesterday that we might hit over 20 cents overnight because it's morning here where I live. So it's currently 11:20 a.m. here on Sunday. And so overnight, we wondered whether it would actually hit. Now, let's go to the price and see where actually Hex hit as well. You can see that it's currently at 16.5 cents, 16.4 cents. It did get up there. Let's go full screen. And we're going to go get rid of the rest of it. We're going to go just on the hourly. So we were up here last time I was talking, which was last night, my time. We were up here. This is where we're at 17, 18 cents, I believe, somewhere in here. So was it going to, it's tried that 3 times. Is it going to break out to that 20-cent mark, which is what Alex talking about up here? So we'll see how that goes today. Obviously, we've got a higher low here. It's a higher low from here. And we've got 2 days and 6 hours to go before the end of this first phase. So the end of this first phase here. Now, what are bigger people? So this is what a lot of people, I think a lot of hunters are going to do. Maybe a lot of medium-sized investors. Let's see, a lot of small ones. But what's going to happen in here? Is there going to be some big moves from big accounts going to move the price and make the 5% penalty less impactful because they can lift the price quite a lot? What's going to happen in here? Is it going to be the action in this part of the price curve? Time curve, or is it going to be up here as well? So it's going to be interesting. Big enough economic energy could come in with the God Whale, will the Origin wallet, will some big independent investors, VCs. What's going to happen in this space? It's going to be interesting. Will that be the main value play? Because obviously the higher value the more of the Pulse coins you'll be getting, and you'll be up, of course, on the volume multiplier, which is the second part. The first part is this here, the time value. You get $1 per 10,000 points at the beginning, and then it gets to about $2 for 10,000 points. So it's twice expensive on that one. And then, of course, you've got the volume multiplier, which is between, we know is between 1 and 2.5. So everybody over the whole 19 days will get ranked by their US dollar value. So obviously, if something like Hex, which is the main token being sacrificed, is high on price, if you can get that snapshot, which is a half an hour average, you can get a higher US dollar value and rank yourself up. So people will be competing. So we're going to check that out too. So that's some of the sort of strategies that's been playing out. Some people are delaying their sacrifice, and it's going to go higher and higher and higher. So that's pretty neat. All right, let's go into there. I'm just going to quickly check just some of the comments here. I am still at 20%, says Alex, looking for close to 20 cents. Yeah, I think a lot of people are for the next one. Someone had a large sell wars on every even number of cents. That's interesting. And yeah, so you're going to get a bit of that, aren't you, Alex? That's the thing. Randy says I put 30% on day one. Hey, nice there, Randy. You've got to pick a day, so the day one's a good one, especially if it was on the open. You would have got a reasonably decent price for that comparably. So I think it's about 14 and a half cents, something like that, maybe even 15 cents. So pretty close on that. So that's the main two factors to get the highest US dollar amount when you're sacrificing. Remember, sacrificing is voluntary. Nothing on here is investment advice. You've got to do your own due diligence. It's just for informational and entertainment purposes. So take that into account. And it is optional. You can do nothing, and if you've got coins on the Ethereum blockchain, then you can wait for mainnet, and you'll get a big airdrop. Based on that, you'll get a copy over onto the Pulse chain, so you don't have to enter the sacrifice phase. It's just for those people that are wanting to go try and get Pulse coins. And of course, when you sacrifice, your coins are gone. You're supposed to expect nothing, no work of others, with the Howie rule. And hey, you might get rewarded later on with Pulse coins. That's the way it's going to play out. All right, very cool on that. So gone through that. Don't forget, if you're wanting to join, you just hit the open DApp part there, and it will open up to this. You just connect your wallet on a MetaMask, use a MetaMask wallet, and then you can select the network that you want to sacrifice. So you can see that there's Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Polygon, Matic, Ripple, Zcash, and obviously most of it's under the Ethereum there. So if you want to check Ethereum, there's only one address. Everybody's sending their Ethereum and the EST20 tokens that they're sacrificing to this address, which is OX9C, ends in 62CB. So that's it there. You can see the official social media sites. Those are the official ones. Don't fall for anything else, okay? Because they're all scams. Everything else is scams. Okay, and so here are the tokens on the Ethereum blockchain: Aave, Chainlink, DAI, ETH, Hex, Maker, Ren, Bitcoin, USDC Circle, USD Tether, Uniswap, Wrapped Bitcoin, Wrapped ETH. Don't send anything else other than those. That's all that you've got there. And of course, the last ones that were added was Binance Smart Chain, and there's a whole list of that. I have got it in the video description if you want to check those links there, for the ones, and you can hit Binance Smart Chain. It will give you the same address. Obviously, it's just you've got to change the network from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain, but you can send it to this address here, your sacrifice, and I've got a list of the coins in the video description. Also, Polygon and Matic were also added, and you can see it's the same address as the Ethereum one as well. You just have to change that over as well. All right, very cool. So that's a bit update on that. That's if you want to sacrifice, what coins you want to sacrifice, how it works, how do you get the most points. So how to get the most points, we talked about it. Earlier is better and bigger is better. So that's the play. But of course, some people are delaying their sacrifice for the price pump. Is there going to be a price pump around here, which many are expecting, or is there going to even be a price pump up here later on when people are less expecting it? If bigger players are going to play the game and don't mind a bit of penalty if they're going to pump the price more. So it's going to be interesting. That's the gamification. We don't know. So we're going to find out. So that's it. And that's how you do it. So very cool. And let's go to the actual sacrifice. So let's check it out. Let's refresh and get into this. I'm going to just go through some of the comments, though. I'm getting a bit behind here. Frosty Dog. Hello, bro. Good to see you, Frosty Dog. Always a pleasure. Alex says hi, Frosty Dog and Randy Hilarski. Frosty Dog, 75% first 5 days, then 25% next 10 days. Nice strategy, Frosty Dog. I do like that a lot. Frosty Dog, Alex, hey. And then Alex got Pulse Lead is good, but incomplete place to see your rankings. And for ETH, yeah, we're going to check that out too. We're going to check out Pulse Lead Hex XYZ. So if you want to check that out, save it to your favorite, folks. It's really cool. Frosty Dog, are you losing weight? Says Frosty Dog. I hope so. And that's the case. And East Maxi, here, new here. What's the benefit of doing percentages on different days rather than just all in one? Well, basically, if you're not doing a stable coin like US dollars, which is just fixed in US dollars, because US dollars is the main thing. The more US dollars you got sacrificed, you get more of a volume multiplier, which is the second part, right, of the two, how you get most points. So basically, if you've sacrificed something like Hex or something that can really move the price easy, then the higher that price, then the higher your US dollar timestamp's going to be. So you're going to get more points for that. So that's the way. And so some people are sacrificing a little bit at the beginning and then sacrificing a bit more as the price goes up. Because as the price goes up, they get a more US dollar as their contribution. So that's what they're doing. So hopefully that it was easily explained there, East Maxi. And hi, Randy Halasky says, hi, guys and girls. Hey, Randy, good to see you in the chat as always. And Alex, the idea is to capture maximum Hex price for the sacrifice points credit. Absolutely, Alex, well said. And Randy goes, I do a percentage of dollar cost average in case Hex moons. That's right. And we don't know what big games are going to be played later in the sacrifice. Now, Richard did say, why is everybody waiting? Why don't they just get in sacrifice? But hey, I'm not sure if that's necessarily helping or what. But that's the way he rolls. If you are sacrificing stable coins anytime in the first 5 days is the best. Yeah, that's absolutely good advice, Alex. So if you are looking at doing stable coins like USDC, USDT, something like that, or DAI or something like that, you can do it earlier is better in the first 5 days because it's not going to affect your USDC. People that are waiting to sacrifice in like percentages, maybe 25% here, 25% here, are really playing on the price going up as more demand goes in there. So that's pretty awesome. Ethan Maxi says, okay, that makes sense. Thanks, guys. No, pleasure. And big shout out to Alex in there for helping out with that one. Nice. All right, so here we are, folks. We've got 1,000 in ETH in there. We know that there's many more thousand ETH have been put in there, but they're being transferred out. Maybe they're being changed into USDC to protect the value as Ethereum is showing signs of weakness. We've got 220 million in the actual ERC20 tokens are sacrificed, and I'm just going to change that to this view. And this is actually quite a nice view, and we can actually see all those tokens. So very cool. So we've got ETH Hex here, 1 billion. Woo-hoo! 1 billion has been sacrificed. Now this is the highlight really for this particular live show. 1 billion Hex has been sacrificed. Amazing stuff. That is a big number, and that's really cool. So remember, we're going to go check out, but we're going to check out the total amount of Hex. But we know that there's about 5% of Hex is liquid or so, give or take. And so this is a big deal. That's less. And if you're wanting to get higher price in a token, any token, you want to get that liquid amount down, squeeze it down. And if you can get to 5%, which Hex is already at, that's the holy grail, getting to 5%. But if you can actually squeeze that even more, that's even more, pumpermentals for price. And so this is 1 billion sacrificed so far, and that's not going to be, hypothetically, it's not going to ever be sold onto the market. So that's coming from Richard Hart, and you can go back and check his videos on that. So if we get down from 5% down to 4%, down to 3% through the sacrifice phase, it's awesome. So think about whenever you have some liquid a token in the market, what's the use case for people to buy that and push the price up? You need to have use cases, and in this case, the latest use case is sacrificing. So people are sacrificing, and it's reducing the 5% down to 4%, down 3%. That's really interesting. That's the holy grail. That's what we want to see. So you want to have people stake long. You want to have that liquidity get decreased through different use cases. In this case, the sacrifice. And then third, you want to have increased demand. And all three of those are playing out right now. That's why it's the holy grail. That's crypto. That's pumpermentals right there. Those three things happening right now. So it's awesome to see this in action. So very cool indeed. All right, so here we got 1 billion there. With currently price is 16.5 cents. It looks like climbing a little bit at the moment. And of course, we've got the value is 166 million for that. Pretty awesome stuff. We've also got obviously Ethereum in there. We've got USDC has rocketed up about 5 million since our last video. Yesterday, it's up at 35 million. That may have some of the ETH in there as well. I'm not sure whether it's spinning around into the USDC. I haven't got around to having checked. I'm doing a lot of other stuff, so I haven't been able to check what's going on in there. DAI is up at 13.4 million. Tether is 5.2 million. And looking pretty good. Everything else is pretty small, but you got other coins are being sacrificed there. Some coins that aren't on the list are being sacrificed, so don't do that. Don't do that. Just do the acceptable coins. That's just a much better to do that. All right, so that's where it's at the moment. So let's just go back from there. That is the sacrifice totals on the actual Ethereum blockchain at market prices, not at the timestamp prices. Obviously, when people put in it's time-weighted average price for non-stable coins, and that means that every half an hour it's the average value there, or point value. We're not exactly sure how they're doing that, but it's every half an hour. And so that's where at the moment. So we also know that this is just Ethereum. There's also other chains. There's Bitcoin and all the others. And so they've had millions and millions of dollars going there. I don't actually have those up. So at the moment, that's probably going to roughly be about over 240 million US dollars at the current market price of Hex. Hex is obviously the biggest driver. You can see that already. Hex is 166 million out of this. So it's if the price of Hex goes up 10%, it's going to rise real quick, and etc. And as we go through the sacrifice phase, as there's more sacrifice, that price variability is going to have more impact on it, and it can really go super big. Now let's have a look at EOS. EOS did a raise that did about $4 billion. That was pretty record. How are we going to do? I think we're on track for $1 billion, and we'll see maybe even more. We'll just see what the big players are doing. There's a lot of people are still deferred, sacrificing all the percentages, doing averages, and all sorts of strategies to get in. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, my low side was kind of 300-400 million. I think we're safe in that, quite easy, and now onwards and upwards there. So it's going to be interesting. We've still got 16 days and about 5 hours to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But definitely, I think that $1 billion is in target. That is going to be pretty epic to see if that gets reached at all, and if it even surpasses it. I think the top range possibly is 2 billion, but 1 billion definitely seems realistic at this stage. All right, so this come my things. These are only my thoughts, of course, not investment advice. Do your own due diligence. So there we are. So let's have a quick look at the pulse lead, and we're going to check that out as well. So here is the top ones. Now this has actually been updated. So we're going to quickly jump over to Richard Hart's Hex things. You can actually see that 7 hours ago, pulselead.hexyx is now live with accurate price feeds. This means we're fetching the price during the hour of sacrifice instead of daily. So yesterday you would have seen in the video, I had a comment, someone commented about using this. I just said it is a daily prices, so historic daily prices. So that's what I was pointing out. That's why it's kind of better to use the Ethereum, even though it's not the timestamp value. You can sort of see the total worth of that, which is kind of in some ways more important. What's the total market cap of these prices? So it's kind of the what's the capital raise that we're doing for the Pulsechain. It's kind of like that. So thanks to all the donators and supporters for being great. So obviously people helped that person Hextopia there, Hextopia, sorry, to actually do the development for that. So it now has accurate price feeds fetching the price during the hour of the sacrifice. So it's a bit closer to the real snapshot there. So very cool on that. All right, so that was great news on that one. So let's go back to here. Just going to quickly check the chat. Let's make sure I'm up to date there. Alex K says also some BSC and Matter assets now eligible for sacrifice. Be sure to check which ones if you decide to take advantage. Yeah, we did talk about that. Thanks for that, Alex. Max Draw, anyone have an idea of how I can go back in time and invest in Hex when it first started? Ask for a friend. Yeah, a lot of people do say that, Max. That's pretty funny. Some say Pulse Sacrifice is another chance at a great ride. Only time will tell. Yeah, that's right. And so that goes back to Richard Hart's tweet. Says, imagine a world. We'll actually scroll back to that. I think it's not too far back down here. Let's go back here. Scroll back. Not too far, I'm sure. Here we go. Can you imagine a world where PLS, EHEX, and PHEX are number 1, 2, and 3 market cap? Sorry, I can. He says. I love that. That's great stuff. We all got like that, right? So that's hilarious. So yeah, you never know. You never know. Pulsechain. This might be a way. Obviously, no one knows the future. No one can promise you anything. But that's kind of where it's looking at the moment. So let's go to Pulse Lead at the moment. So Pulse Lead says, based on the hourly timestamps, that it's 206 million so far. Obviously, that's just for the Ethereum chain, and it's also calculated on historical data. So it's just indicative, really. So at the moment, probably not too bad a snapshot of the historical one now that's back on the hourly. This means that the total amount you see was calculated based on what the crypto was worth at the time of the transaction. So it gives you a much better time snap version as opposed to total value, which is kind of how you would do a capital raise. Here are the sacrifice phase leaderboards, and you can see the cryptocurrencies that it's tracking. And so it's got the Aave, Link, DAI, ETH, Hex, Maker, RMBTC, USDC, USDD, Uni, Wrapped Bitcoin, and Wrapped E, so all the Ethereum ones. And you can see the top one here, 11 million, 5.7, 4.5, and we're going down there. And how many we got over? Last night when we finished our video, we had 8 people over 1 million, and that was up 1 from the earlier video I did earlier in the day. And so now let's check out how many millionaires have sacrificed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Actually, I'll go from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we've jumped from overnight, unbelievable. We've jumped from 8 millionaires to 20 millionaires that sacrificed. Now, yesterday I said, are we going to get to 100 millionaires by the time we get to the end or more? And that's looking pretty positive. This is some big stuff coming in. So there's a lot of people with money here coming in here, and it's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure that they're from a pretty diverse background, not just Hexkins or Hexkin OGs. So interesting stuff there. Now I do have seen some speculation that some people were saying this is probably George, I think he's a Asian-based YouTuber. So that's interesting. That would be laughable if that was him. That'd be pretty interesting. He had was pretty critical of Richard Hart or something like that. I haven't actually seen any of the videos, just feeding back some of the rumors. But anyway, $11 million, pretty huge there, standing out. Now, is that going to be the biggest one by the time we end up the 19 days? Let's see, but I don't think so. I think that might even get surpassed. So watch out, 20. We're up to 20 millionaires there. Pretty amazing stuff. Max Troll's in the house. True. So true. Alex K, I like how Guy 2 sacrificed all his Hex and then even threw in remaining ETH dust in there too. Now that's dedication. Yeah, nice one there, Alex. So I think that's this one here, isn't it? 5.7. What else we got there? Ramon says, exciting times. So glad I found the Hex community. I'm sure they're glad they found you. Now, it is still early days in the Hex, so it's a long way up from there. And obviously, Pulsechain is the main topic of this video. But Pulsecoin could do the similar thing, and that's what people are placing, entering in there for. They're sacrificing for that speculation. So obviously backing Richard Hart. Richard Hart succeeding with Hex, and also they're backing that Pulse. Now, Pulse is not the same. Hex is a certificate of deposit. Pulsechain is a system state fork copy of Ethereum, and it's going to be with the new improved features, top coding, and all the rest of it. So that's all going to play out. Now, don't forget, there's still operational risk. The public testnet has to play out. That has to perform pretty well, and then that has to go to market. So there's still operational risk with that. Don't forget that. Just take that into account. And the other side of it is that we're going to see how that performs and all that sort of stuff. Let's go back to actually. Let's go back to the actual details on that. So we know that. These are the basic details. Pulsechain will re-enable priced out use cases instead of launching empty. Pulsechain brings the ETH system state in ERC20s. This rewards holders and founders of Ethereum-based projects. It's also Ethereum fees are going to be lowered by sharing its load. So it's also going to complement the actual Ethereum blockchain by taking some of the load off it. The launch of the Pulsechain is the largest airdrop in history. Thousands of Ethereum-based tokens and NFTs receive their free Pulse versions. The new Gold Rush contains the value discovery. So remember, all the prices on Pulsechain can start from 0, including Pulsecoin, which is the reward for entering the sacrifice. Thousands of Ethereum-based tokens and NFTs receive their free Pulsechain versions. The new Gold Rush contains the value discovery of thousands of tokens and NFTs on Pulsechain. So don't forget NFTs as well are going to be on there. If you want to be able to be a whale and a certain ERC20 or NFT on the Pulsechain, like P-Uni, for example, maybe now you can be. So that's some of the excitement as well. When the second phase, it's the second phase when Pulsechain actually launches, and basically use your MetaMask wallet. You're going to have obviously the Pulsechain network instead of the Ethereum network. ETH holders can transact for free with Freemium Pulse. It's going to be a one-to-one airdrop for Ethereum. So if you're holding Ethereum on Ethereum chain, this when mainnet launches, you will get one for one pulse on there. Obviously, most of the pulse is in the sacrifice phase. That's why people are choosing to enter it. There's going to be lower pulse chain fees and servers. So pulse chain increases the throughput of Ethereum 4 times by 3-second blocks is the main point I was really trying to make. So it's going to obviously be faster and cheaper. So that's the case there. Ethereum obviously is around 30 seconds time, and it's going to obviously remove pollution. It's going to be proof of stake rather than proof of work. And what else we got there? There's going to be, and another interesting thing is going to be zero inflation. So really all the pulse that's being issued now is basically the inflation phase and all at once. So it's going to be zero inflation after that. So to remember that, it's very important. Validators earn fees, and the 25, and those fees are going to be relatively low, right? If Pulse is cheap, relatively low. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. 25% of the fees are burnt to reduce the circulating supply, and of that small fee amount, perhaps that's going to be burnt. So it's actually deflationary. So that's implicitly increasing the value of Pulse. And you know, a lot of people lose coins as well. So some people are probably going to lose their Pulse coins, unfortunately. This is the way it happens in life. There we are. And of course, Pulse native token PLS will be staked and delegated. So you can stake your Pulse coins with the validator, and you'll get rewarded from the delegators with the largest percentage of fees. So just take that into account. You will be able to stake the Pulse coin. That's another reason why people are entering the sacrifice. There's also going to be some bridges as well. So bridging between ETH and Pulsechain and other chains. So going to be that going on. There's also going to be trading. There's going to be a Pulsechain Uniswap as well on the Pulsechain, as just like there's Uniswap on the Ethereum blockchain. And also, you know, you've got to get used to having terminology like EHEX on the Ethereum blockchain and PHEX on the Pulsechain. You got to use that terminology there. All right, so pretty cool. And don't forget, if you are sacrificing, you're sacrificing for a political statement that you believe in free speech and the rest of it. So just take that into account. And that when you sacrifice, you're basically giving your coins away for that political cause. Just take that into account. That's the way it rolls. All right, very cool. Crypto Journeyman's back in the house. Hello, brother. Good to see you, Crypto Journeyman. Hex Maxi, Hex and Pulsechain feels like a billionaires boys club. I like it. It does. So Alex Casey sacrificed some BTC last night. Feels like it might go lower. Might as well lock in the value. Absolutely there, Alex K. And Filipino vlogger. Hello. Hey, good to see you in the chat there. Welcome to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody. Smash that like button. Hit the bell. Of course, we've got great videos, and we're going to be doing 1 or 2 videos probably a day on Pulsechain updates as we go through this 19-day sacrifice. Then we've obviously got the public testnet. We've got the fork snapshot, and then we've got the Pulsechain going live. Price discovery, the free biggest airdrop in history. It is super exciting. I think it's the biggest thing in crypto land for a long time to come. It's going to be pretty amazing stuff. And yeah, it's going to be really cool. So don't forget to hit that. If you also want to support this channel, it's growing pretty fast. Hit that join button. And you've got 4 different options: Axionites, Heroes, Elites, and Krakens. Get in there and help support this channel, and it will be much appreciated. And obviously, you get some special coloring in the comments there, and so it stands you out, some nice little badges and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Get into it. All right, let's quickly go on to the next phase. Of course, we've talked about some of these here. You can actually just go through. Now the links to this in the video description if you want to go to this page, pulselead.xyz. So pretty cool on that. Let's quickly jump to the amounts. So we already know. Let's refresh this and have a check out the amount at the moment. We're just going to update this. So we're up to 221, pretty nice, 2,223 plus obviously tokens and other chains. And once again, if the price of Hex goes up pretty big, this dollar value changes really fast and so forth. So that's where it's at. Let's just make this a bit bigger. So you can see, yeah, the Hex is just slowly climbing. What's it going to be by the end of today? It's going to be pretty amazing. I'll probably do a live stream later today, probably in about 12, 14 hours time, and see how we get on. Depending on what the results, how much they've changed, and yeah, up to 167 million, and the price seems to be rising. The Hex price is rising, so pretty cool. Right, so you can actually see here on this one here. This is apphex.win.charts. So I'm going to post that in the chat for you if you want to see the sacrifice percentage. So if you want to hit that, there we are. You can go do that. Sorry, there's a bit of a spelling mistake there, but hey. So that's it, is the Hex. That's this site now, and it actually has the sacrifice percentage. Very important number. Very important number. So pretty cool. And Alex K says, I think day 5 should be very interesting. I hope the website will have official day timer by then. Yeah, me too, Alex. And that day 5 is going to be epic. So I think it's going to be pretty fun. And we should see a few games being played, particularly by the big boys or big girls or whatever you want to call. So pretty nice. There's a sacrifice percentage. Hey, Journeyman, good to see you, Crypto Journeyman. Good job on all the updates. Hey, much appreciated. And always thanks for your support. Always great to see you in the chat too, especially last couple of days. It's been good. All right, so here we are, folks. This is actually more interesting in some ways. The percentage of Hex sacrifice, 0.159%. You can see it up here. Here it is here, 0.195%. That's this green color here. It's not showing up on this chart yet, but it will. We hit 1 billion. I thought maybe it might show up. Maybe we have to just go higher in the percentages. Maybe we have to get to 1%, something like that, or just a bit higher. So I talked about earlier that if there's only about 5% liquid Hex in the market, that's what people say. Then if we can get 1 or 2% in the sacrifice, it's going to make it super good. Excuse me. So 5% is really good already. Every crypto wants to get to 5% liquid in the market, but if Hex is already there, so if it can actually get lower and lower, 4%, 3%, this sacrifice percent becomes really important. We can already see that obviously Hex, if we go back to here, Hex is the biggest sacrifice. We can see that $167 million. So we know that that's a big deal, right? So also with the value, this also going to have a flow-on effect into Hex. Now Hex doesn't get any special treatment other than the fact that all Hex sacrifice will hypothetically not be put back onto the market. So it's basically like it being burned, or not quite like that, but it's like it's being staked, something like that. It's basically inactive liquid Hex. So that's probably a better way to put it. Basically Richard has indicated will not go back on the market. So there we are. Those are all just those statements conditioned, of course. But here is the amount there, 0.151. Once they get to 1%, and I'm feeling pretty good that it's a good chance that actually might get to that. That's a really big deal. And obviously that'd be 5% down to 4% type of thing. Some people already say that the liquid amount's actually slightly lower than 5%. Now we know that all the inflation on Hex comes out of the stakers, and currently 9.6% is staked, and that is 60.92 billion is staked. And a lot of those are Hexkins. The culture is pretty strong, and of course T-shares are fundamental on that side. That's the supply side of Hex, and that means that the more T-shares you have, the more interest you get, up to 38-40% APY. And of course the share price to get a T-share now is over $3,000 at the current market price, which you can see is 16.66 cents. So lots of stuff. This is very critical. This is the key information happening here at the moment. Obviously, also there's another one. Wallets are climbing. Have been climbing about 1,300, 1,500 a day. So that's pretty cool on the Hex wallets. So that's going well over 300,000 and climbing. And we know that there's about 40,000 stakers on the staker app. So that's sort of some of the key numbers there. And they're only getting better. Demand's going up. The scarcity of the Hex coins getting lower, and stakers are staking longer. We know that it's about 5.7 years staking. Those are the three key things. And to get the liquid down, you need use cases. And here the use case is the sacrifice. And so it's squeezing that down. Already 5% is the holy grail for most cryptos, but getting that squeezed even further is just awesome stuff. So that's going to be interesting to see how those three factors play out over time, and pretty awesome stuff there. All right, so pretty cool. So we wait for that sacrifice is going to show up on this pie graph eventually. We've got 572 billion liquid, and we know that about 90% of that's controlled by the Origin wallet. So if you're not familiar with that terminology, that's the wallet that actually was during the launch phase of Hex, and basically getting a lot of half of the penalties, etc., all that sort of stuff, referrals and stuff like that. So that's accumulated a lot of stuff. And on Big Payday last year, the 19th of November, we saw the power of that, and staking jumped from about 9.7%, something like that, to over 98%, showing the power of the Origin wallet. And so that was huge. And so far it's only shown benevolent behavior, and so that's how that's being judged. So is the Origin wallet going to play? Is it going to come and play in the sacrifice somewhere along here? And is the Origin wallet the God whale? We don't know, but is it? Some people might know, but is it? Those are some of the speculations. We're going to have venture capital, not venture capital. We're going to have venture capitalists come in and also be playing. What big hands are going to be moving, not only at this phase, day 4, day 5, but also in the latest phases here, getting that time weighted average price up. It's going to be interesting stuff. This is what's the exciting part about the Pulsechain sacrifice phase, not just getting in and getting your points, but also what's happening with the game. What you know the rules, what's happening with the game. That's pretty much it. Pretty exciting. All right, so that's some cool stuff. So we're watching that number. It's continuing to go up, 0.159. We've hit over 1 billion hex sacrificed, and we're going to keep watching that. And can we get to 1% over the 19-day period? Let's watch out. I think there's some big volumes still yet to come, and we're going to see how that goes. Now, also hex penalties. Hex penalties have been pretty high lately. Last couple of days, people early unstaking to sacrifice, people early unstaking to sell into the market. Those sort of things. Actually, the price has actually been fairly stable. You can see here, price is actually fairly stable and it's held up pretty well. So there has been a few hex stakes that have been unstaked by OGs in particular and sold down, but the market's holding up pretty nicely there. And so we'll see how that pans out. So it's obviously pretty good. A lot of people a year ago would not have believed that it would have been 16 cents at this stage, even many of the insightful hex OGs as well. So pretty awesome stuff here going on. So it's going to be fascinating, folks. It's going to be enthralling. And at the moment, this is where we're at the moment. So we know that that liquid amount is actually very small. This liquid is deceptive because it's got the Origin wallet in there. And so it's going to be fun times ahead. All right, so that's covering that. We've covered the sacrifice amount. We've covered the sacrifice percentage. We've obviously covered how that impacts onto Hex. We've also covered how to do the sacrifice, what the sacrifice points rules are, and we've obviously covered the price here. I'm still expecting a breakout up to 20 cents. I think Alex is too. That's why he's holding back some of those percentages for that. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the other side is obviously in the next 2 days, I think that's going to be the first trigger, and that's going to be pretty interesting. Now, here's the God whale. We're having a look at the God whale account. So this is it here. And you can see it's got 83,914 ETH in it, worth 160 million US dollars at the current price of Ethereum at $1,900. You can also see it's got a lot of hex in there. Let's quickly look at that. We're going to go into the God whale here, check that out. Just quickly back to the comments. Alex says day 5 and day 16 may have potential whale plays. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely, Alex. Keep some dry powder ready to ride the wave. Nice one, Alex. Thank you for the EE stakes, says Crypto Journeyman. Nice one. All right, so this is the God Whales ERC 20 bag. You can see the hex is at the top there. It's been purchasing 188 million hex, and I imagine this is going to keep growing. And you can see that it's got 31 million too. Yeah, just over 31 million US dollars. Now, yesterday, we're going to get out of this one, but yesterday it did a couple of actions which were interesting. So it did some more buys of Hex, but then yesterday it moved 5,000 Ether out of the wallet into Binance. So that was interesting behavior. It moved over there to Binance. You can actually see it went to this address here. So that was interesting. And sorry, not Binance, went to Kraken. So I apologize. Went to Kraken. So there it went to Kraken there. Kraken 5,000 ETH. So there's this ETH going in there. Who knows what's happening with that? I don't know. Maybe Alex has an idea what he thinks that's happening with that ETH. It's pretty hard to track it after that, of course. But that was interesting that ETH's gone out there and has happened several times before. And then, of course, 5 hours ago, 250 ETH went onto the market. Some more Hex buying in the market there from the God whale. And you can see it picked up another 2.7 million, almost $500,000 a time when it goes and buys. So pretty big stuff happening there. Now, 3 different options. Is it going to hold it for the value, price pump, and then be able to sell it down later on? Or 2, is it going to sacrifice it and keep buying more Hex to sacrifice? And is it going to push the price up later on, day 5, like Alex says, or day 16? Or is it somewhere in between? Something like that. Is it going to do that and do that and get the big price stamp? So is the price of Hex this is all speculation and stuff I'm saying. Could it be doing that and sacrifice, or will it just sit there and hold it type of thing? There's a couple of strategies there. We just don't know which one's going to be more likely. Possibly the sacrifice seems more likely to me, but we'll see how that plays out. We're going to keep watching the God whale for sure. Are there other God whales around? We'll find that out too. The other thing, of course, is that if it does sacrifice, then it's a good chance it could help push the price up in addition to everybody else. So are we going to see? I said top of the range possibly. Now that we've been up in this territory is maybe 25 to 60 cents. Sorry, 25 to 40 cents. If we break out over this 20 cents, we could see 25 to 40, and that's pretty interesting. But even later in the phase on day 16, maybe something like that, could we even see greater prices than 40 cents? Yeah, I just you can do speculating where I'm thinking of the price might go. Anything's possible, but definitely at 25 to 40 cents seems to be in play if we break that 20 cents. And I just have a feeling we're going to probably do that potentially day 5, but we'll see how that goes, or day 6 even. But obviously nothing is investment advice here, just my speculations. Do your own due diligence before getting involved in Pulsechain. Obviously the the sacrifice phase, Pulsechain itself is a free airdrop, so you don't have to do anything for that. So it's going to be a free airdrop, a copy of the system state, so easily done. All right, so pretty cool on that. Crypto Journeyman. Sorry, abbreviated there. I meant emergency end stakes. Yeah, so that's right. So, oh yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, for sure. So that's actually given, if you've got Hex T-shares, the other day it was about 7.2, I think, Hex per T-share, and that was because penalties were so high. And then the Hex per T-share has been very high lately. So people are enjoying that if you've got T-shares. We've got a little green candle here. We've got a higher low too. It's going to be interesting to see how the next 12 hours goes with this chart. Very interesting indeed, because you can see there's been about 12 hours between this time here, from the top here to the bottom. It's been 13 hours. That's down 11%. So we're going to see we do have a higher low from here, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Hex is we're talking about Hex a lot because that is the main token being sacrificed, and for that reason. All right, so pretty cool. This is the US dollar pair as well, and let's jump over to how we doing for time. 43 minutes, going pretty nicely. I think we'll talk about that. So we've talked about virtually everything. We're going to check another update on the actual sacrifice. So let's go and check that, and then we'll get an update now. Let's refresh this one. Obviously, it's going to move around with the price of Hex because it's such a bulk part of it. But I've actually been pretty impressed with the now and ETH getting in there. So yeah, there we are, folks. That's looking good. So I know quite a few people have been selling other coins and buying Hex with their other coins. So if you know people like that, get into the chat, let us know. So they've been buying coins and buying Hex with other coins. So even though you might see some other coins not as high as some of them may have thought of they would be, people have been selling those coins to get Hex. So that's part of the demand for Hex as well. But we're a long way to go yet at the moment. So let's go into the Hex actually just quickly before I jump over to Richard's latest tweets, and we'll get the latest news. Let's jump over here, and we're going to go to the last page on the Hex sacrifices, and we can see that we're currently up to 2 days and 19 hours. So we're slowly tracking 5 days, 5 hours left in day 3. 5 hours left in day 3. That's how we're going. Let's go first. We actually look at some of the actual sacrifices here. We've got 100,000 there. That's pretty decent. What else we got here that's interesting? 300,000. Not too bad. These are the latest Hex sacrifices, and you can see it's all in the last 10-15 minutes. So it's pretty big deal. We've got another 100,000 there. 55, a couple of 55s. So another 50 there. Let's have a look else here as we go. Obviously, everybody's sacrifice gets ranked, and you can top up your sacrifice and try and compete on the US dollar amount. So you can see on the Pulse lead, these people, maybe this person's here, they're trying to get that volume multiplier. Remember, the volume multiplier is between 1 and 2.5, and so they can actually try and add more sacrifice to it and jump their positions and get a higher a volume multiplier. Remember, that's the second aspect of getting a lot of points. So they might do that. So that's interesting. And yeah, so we're just going through here, just having a look at some of the sacrifice, see if we can see anything particularly big. Just the last sort of hour. We'll just go through the last hour. We've got 200,000 there in the last hour. What else? Got a couple of 50s there. Let's go through, and I think we're almost up to the last hour. So we've got let's go through 200,000 there. And what else we got there? Another 200,000. So in the last hour, you can see that those are some of the bigger ones, and obviously lots of smaller sacrifices as well. So very cool on that. All right, so let's just jump over to Richard Hart's tweets and check some of that out. Before I do that, let's go through some of the no comments. I'm up to date with my comments. I like that. That's very cool. Hope you guys are enjoying this format. I think it's pretty a good way of covering everything. And I will try and set up something like the Bitcoin to see the Bitcoin. I think that's probably cool to see that. It's probably the biggest non-other coin, maybe Dogecoin. I'm not sure what Dogecoin has had in it, but I'll try and set that up too. All right, so we're up to that one. Let's quickly go. Don't forget, Richard's also talking about the part of the sacrifice phase is the SENS Foundation for Health and Long Life Research. So you can get into that. Remember, yesterday it was over 22 million. I'm sure it's much higher than that now. So you can check that out as well. Actually, had the address, didn't I, for that? Oh, that's sure. It doesn't actually. Don't think it shows the total. This is awesome. Just anticipating a sea change in public attitude. So this is Dr. Aubrey de Grey of the SENS Foundation. So some good videos there. You can check that out on Twitter. I'm sure you've all got the links in the video description, by the way, to this site. Everyone that's trying to donate to SENS Pulsechain phase, you must use their address and not the addresses of Pulse Info. Just remember that, okay? You need to email them too. They only get money if you use their addresses. When they get the money, of course, they sell it straight away too. On Coinbase, they sell it on Coinbase because they're only after the US dollar amount. And so there's some extra information here. If you're from the UK, donating to the SENS Foundation for the UK, you have to use their UK crypto addresses at the bottom of the page, or you won't be able to get tax write-off. So that's on sens.org there. And so we'll just click on that quickly, and you can actually find this on the DApp, I believe, on this one here. So got it on there. No, it hasn't got the SENS Foundation on there, but you can actually find that on the Twitter, so you can go check that out. So this is the idea here. Pulsechain airdrop is live. Join Richard Hart in supporting the SENS Research Foundation. Read instructions here prior to donating. So that's what you can do. So you can check that out. SENS. So that's the actual website. But don't forget to you only get 75% of the points for that, so you're really doing a donation to that cause. Once again, always check the websites, do your due diligence, etc. But that's the way it rolls on that one. All right, so pretty cool. We've got just going through here. Vitalik is cool. What are we doing? And they've got a cool YouTube. Thanks, Vitalik, for supporting SENS for years and millions, and thanks for liking what we're doing. We look forward to making more comments to Geth and improving Ethereum. We're only made one so far. So obviously the coders for working for Pulsechain made an improvement, fixed up something for the Ethereum blockchain that got actually accepted and run through. So pretty cool. So you can check that as well. There's a YouTube video there for that. 1.6 million of Bitcoin Cash sacrifices so far. That was a nice update. That was 3 hours ago. So it gives you an idea of how much Bitcoin Cash is, which I haven't covered yet, obviously, because non-Ethereum, but that's up to there at the moment. The opposite of a rug pull is a magic carpet ride. You obviously get a lot of criticism. Obviously, Hex is pretty mature now. It's been launched on 2nd of December 2019. So what are we now in July 2021? So it's what's that, 17, 18 months. So it's really starting to move along and get quite mature. The opposite of a rug pull is a magic carpet ride. Pretty cool. So you can check out hex.com and for that. And that's it. That's the latest news from Richard. I think that Richard's going to be doing a lot of live streams. Don't forget to go onto Richard Richard Hart on YouTube. Watch his latest live stream. Lots of really good. The last one was really good, and he had lots of good insights into the sacrifice and the Pulsechain. Answers a lot of common questions that people have. A lot of questions that people get confused by. So that's pretty cool as well. So that was pretty much it. Let's quickly go back there. We've got, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, of course, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button and help the growth of this channel. Share if you can, of course, and if you want to become a member of this channel, we're going to have lots of these great updates on Pulsechain. We're obviously going to talk about great certificate deposits and Axien, Wise, Hex, and obviously a lot of great DeFi, Compound, Aave, all that sort of Celsius, everything. We're going to get into the gold standard of DeFi on this channel and do a lot of specialty videos on that coming up as well. So it's going to be a lot of high value APY stuff. None of those crappy crypto projects out there, just the good stuff on this channel. And so yeah, if you want to support this channel, subscribe. 4 different options: Axionites, Elite, Heroes, and Krakens, the big Krakens. So check that out on the join button on this channel or on under any of these videos, and that'd be much appreciated. You do get some special perks and some special when you're commenting, get some special highlights in there as well as some badges. So pretty nice. All right, so that's pretty cool. Let's quickly jump back in and see where we're at the moment on the Hex there. So 16.6 cents there, just tracking along, expecting a bit of a movement up in my view. We've got a higher low, looking very good. We're obviously moving into day, got 5 hours less of day 3. We know that we need, once we get to day 4 or 5, we're going to get this day 4 and 5 here. It's going to be what I think the first big price run. It's just my opinion, of course, not investment advice. And then, as Alex was saying, this day 16, I'm going to get some interesting stuff happening there too. Let's go back into some of this overall stuff with the pulse amount. So the total supply of pulse, some people get a bit confused with this. As the pulse supply increases with the amount sacrificed, okay, so the more that's sacrificed, the more pulse that will be issued. And obviously that's based on the time weighted average price for the non-stable coins. But really, when you're sacrificing in, if you're going to sacrifice, it's the US dollar amount that counts. And that's what puts you in the rank as well. So it's the US dollar amount that counts. The sacrifice set can mint 1 free pulse per sacrifice point, and we know that you get 10,000 sacrifice points per dollar. So that's how that works on there. The sacrifice set can mint 1 free pulse per sacrifice point. Ethereum holders only get 1 free pulse per ETH. So if you're holding ETH when it gets copied over, you'll get 1 pulse for that ETH in the pulse chain as the freemium airdrop. And of course, you must use that within 30 days, otherwise you lose it. So that's just to get people that are active, being active on the pulse chain, getting the economic energy going for sure. Of course, there's going to be a genesis address, a little bit like the Origin wallet and Hex during the raise, but it's really a genesis address, 1% of the total PLS supply at launch. It will not benefit you and may waste the coins in any way it wishes, so take that into account, but that's just a minor thing really. The total supply isn't 10,000x higher than ETH, and so we know that ETH is, let's go to ETH at the moment. We'll actually probably go to Nomics and check that out. We'll have to look where Hex is at the moment. Hex is obviously number 3 there, and 95, just under 96 billion. And hey, could it flip ETH in the next 17 days, 16 days? It'll be interesting to see if that happens. That'd be quite some news out there, of course, as well. So circulating supply. Circulating supply is 116,734,842 Ethereum. So a pulse chain is going to be 10,000x bigger than that. So it's going to be about 1.1 trillion coins based on that. So if I've got my numbers right there, so that's the way it's going to roll. Crypto Gentleman, be looking into the membership later. Thanks. Hey, appreciate that, Crypto Gentleman. Always welcome new members, and you always get a nice, cool shout out for that as well. Very nice. All right, so okay, this is the way we're growing on here. So we're looking at 10,000 token, pulse coins compared to the Ethereum, a number of Ethereum tokens, coins, sorry, I should say, on the market. So that's how that's going to roll. And let's go. So if the total supply isn't 10,000x higher than ETHs, then everyone will get upscaled bonus coins pro rata. So I like that feature. Everyone will get upscaled bonus. Nice one. So if you have committed to it, you'll get even more coins. Pretty nice. If that's the case, if that scenario plays out, depends on the total amount sacrificed. To bring the total supply up to 10,000 x times the ETH total supply, and we already saw that. That is the ETH total supply there. So it's going to be 10,000x of that. The US dollar value of sacrifice are estimated using 30-minute time weighted average prices. That's why some people are doing averaging in with percentages of the amount. So imagine if I wanted to sacrifice, say, $10,000 worth, I might sacrifice $2,000. And so say I had $10,000 to start with. It was in Hex, but I sacrificed $2,000 on the first day, and then I wait for day 5 and I sacrifice maybe $4,000 on that day. But the price of Hex goes up, so my $10,000 I started with, ends up going up to 20,000, 30,000, whatever, and I just sacrifice more percentage trying to get that higher price. You are speculating on the price part as opposed to the US dollar amount, but if obviously the price does go up, it's going to play in your favor, and you'll have a high US dollar sacrifice, and that will benefit you big time with this volume multiplier. So remember, there's 2 features to get points. One is earlier is better, getting in these 5 days, and number 2 is volume multiplier is better. Getting a higher US dollar amount puts you in the higher rank, and the rank is between 1 and 2.5. So that's a pretty big deal. You can see that here in math speak. It's a linear bonding curve of 1 to 2.5. So we're going to see that play out as well. And you can actually see that on the Pulse lead with these top accounts showing that this one here at the moment looks like it's probably going to be the 2.5 at the top multiplier for the volume. And obviously getting in early, they're going to be getting the maximum points for being in early as well. But of course, if they get surpassed by somebody else, then they'll slowly move down from 2.5 down to maybe 2.49 or something like that. Something kind of in that way. And don't forget to also, this is how day 1 to 16 works. Day 17, 18, 19 have the worst rates and get a flat bonus of only 1.75. Now, Richard's got a little good commentary in his latest video on that, so you can go check that out as well. And I might leave a link in the video description after this for that. Very cool. All right, so how we're doing? We're doing up to 57 minutes. So we normally go for 1 hour with these updates. I've got a couple hours left to go. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button. It always helps this channel grow, and we get the word out there around Pulsechain as well, and obviously other stuff like that. Now, I will be doing other videos on this channel today, obviously around Axion, which is certificate deposit, which I cover every day. I do the auctions every day, and so they're exciting. We see ETH go into the auctions, and we see wrapped Bitcoin comes out the other side. So it's pretty neat function, and I think we're up to auction day 246. So it's really is exciting. Those wrapped Bitcoin dividends are pretty massive and keep just coming in. So it's pretty nice on that. So you can check me out on that. It does get pretty exciting, folks. That Ethereum goes in there. You see me, I'm jumping around. I do love that stuff. It's kind of, I love the adrenaline rush for sure. Pulsechain's kind of like that, right? Pulsechain's how much sacrifice we're going to get in there. It is pretty awesome to see that flow in. So that's fun too. And I love just refreshing this browser. Maybe not too often. It's a bit like the Staker app. If you've got the Staker app, you update that a lot, especially when the price is moving up. It's pretty fun stuff to do. Yeah, that's going good. Also, this one here is interesting. Going to watch that sacrifice percentage go up. That's a big deal, and that sort of have ramifications flowing into the Hex circulating supply, and also this T share going up is pretty epic too. Seeing it up at $3,300 and stuff like that is pretty mind blowing. Obviously, it flipped Ethereum already, down at $1,900. And what's it going to do? The next target, there's only one target left. It's Bitcoin. Can a T share? Richard says the only better price chart than Hex price is the T share price. And the T shares is how many trillions of shares that you have staked. And we can see that there's only a small amount of people with the stakes, relatively speaking. We got 9.6%. And that's 60.91 billion Hex stake that earns. Those people earning about 38 to 40% APY, and that takes pretty much all that 3.69% inflation that Hex has every year. So that's why you get Hex per T shares on there, and that gets bonus as well because if people early unstake and stuff like that, you get the penalties on top of that interest, and so it really is pretty epic. And that obviously at the price of Hex at the moment, 16.6 cents every Hex that you earn per T share. I think if it's 6 or 7 Hex per T share, that's times 16 cents. So it's a couple of bucks, and pretty amazing. And what happens if a Hex gets to $1, $5, $10, $20? Imagine that. It really is quite mind-blowing stuff in the future. And eventually, if people won't only be able to get B shares and then M shares over lifetime. Pretty amazing stuff. So I think that's the implications of Pulsechain flowing through into that project are pretty big, obviously, and all the new users that are using Pulsechain, because it covers people from multiple projects. So you're probably maybe in a project you weren't even involved in Hex or anything else like that, and you've come because Pulsechain's been really an amazing, attractive thing to see. It is a unique thing, a system state copy of the Ethereum blockchain, not done before. So all the free airdrop tokens are going to be priced up from zero. That's going to be huge. It's going to cause waves. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. It's also going to be interesting to see how the exchanges treat Pulse tokens as well, and also how stablecoin custodials treat that as well. Now, there's also talk about fiat gateway onto Pulsechain as well. So bypassing, say, going through ETH and stuff like that. So it's going to be lots of different economic business aspects to it that are going to increase the energy. Now, Richard's also got some secret sauce and some secret stuff around how to make Pulsechain valuable and successful, even more than it's implied at the moment. So we're going to watch out for that as well. Let's also talk about potential other airdrops for Pulse holders, Pulse coin holders. So there's lots of those are all just rumored at this stage. They're sort of implied. We just don't know. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But lots of stuff that we don't know. I love that stuff. I love the stuff you don't know coming up, and it also surprises the market, and can also add extra economic energy to everything as well. So awesome stuff. And obviously, if this is all pre-viral, then and it looks like it's starting to cross over that mark, then that could open up a whole ton of economic energy as well. So fun times. So let's quickly do one more check before we wrap up the live stream. I'm going to quickly check the comments there. We've got Bryce Newton. When does the Pulse network go live? We probably think maybe 6 to 8 weeks is my guess. So we've got the Pulse chain, still got let's say 17 days to go, 3 days for calibration, 20 days. We've got next week, looks like we'll have the public testnet at the earliest, as the public testnet next week. So that's probably maybe 4, 5, 6 days away, something like that. And that looks like they were just setting up servers and stuff like that. That's the kind of the hard problem, was setting up all the servers. So they get Pulsechain up, testnet running. Then obviously it's going to run for a little while. We've got, so say 3 weeks, 1 week, 4, so yeah, probably 6 to 8 weeks is my guess. There will be a bit of a gap between obviously a successful public testnet and the sacrifice, and then yeah, so probably 6 to 8 weeks is my guess on that. Adrian Amilo, XDC is also compliant, used specifically for trade finance for a banking structure, DAG, layer 1 protocol, live stream, monetize, validate, secure. I don't know what you're doing on that one. All right, so pretty cool. I don't know if Alex, you can delete that. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. That's good. I was like reading that, going, what's that person on about? Seriously. All right, so hey, that's all right. Hey, all right. So how are we doing for time? We're doing pretty well. With 1 hour and 2 minutes. I've gone slightly over. How about that? It's too exciting. Let's do one more refresh and see where we're at the moment. And let's go for gold. Don't forget to, I'll probably be on towards the end of the day. There we are, 223,560,000 for all the ERC20 sacrificed, 2.2 million for the ETH. Pretty cool. We've got Hex at the moment, of course, is at 1,007,382,000, and that's just continuing to climb. And the price is also going up there, so 169, and that's where we're at the moment. So catch me later on in the day. Obviously, the percentage is at 0.159% sacrificed of Hex, so that's interesting. And of course, we've also got those cool US dollar amounts sacrificed as well, which is looking pretty nifty. Look at that stuff. We've got $35 million of USDC sacrificed, 13.4 million DAI, 5.4 million of Tether. We know that we've got something like 1.8 million in Bitcoin Cash, and I'm pretty sure Bitcoin is over the 10 million mark. So we'll check that out too later. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell. Thanks, Alex, for moderating. Terrific job as usual, and helping out with the questions, the Q&A. Catch me later on in the day. I'll be doing a couple more videos, of course, and of course, the Pulsechain update later on. All right, cheers. 1 billion Hex sacrifice, epic, says David Gomez. Absolutely. And yeah, nice one. I think that's epic too. All right, let me just, thanks for watching, everybody, and catch you next time. Peace out.